Thursday last week and went through Friday. Now we're continuing into Monday as we have questions and answers from the 68th workshop. And first we'll check in with Mr. Keshe and see what he has to say for today, and carry on from there. And let me focus on Mr. Keshe here. Get that up in the live stream.
Good morning.
Go. Hello, Mr. Keshe. How are you?
Yes, good morning. Good day to you. My camera, my microphone is not right. Welcome to you to today's teaching on the YouTube. This is a continuation of the Friday and Thursday open teachings. Today we follow the same. And what the reason for this is, we did not get the chance to reply. So we try to reply to some of the questions. Meanwhile, there is a number of announcements I have to make on the YouTube. First of all is the Keshe Foundation has come to find out in the recent past weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, and this, if we allow it to happen, become unprecedented for our openness, is that we've been told Dr. Elia Kostova, in getting the support from the Keshe Foundation and doing open teaching about the needles in acupuncture, she has set out to steal the technology from the Keshe Foundation worldwide and patenting the needles and the use of them for herself. We ask all the Keshe Foundations around the world to inform the patent office in Singapore, in China, in Malaysia, International Patent Office, that this technology is well known, is publicized for months, and she has stolen the technology. Cannot be patented because already hundreds of thousands of people already know about the technology. If this is the pattern to be, we have to change the course, which means even the technology of the power system we showed on Thursday, Friday, people can patent it and block the rest of the population. We know Mr. Dirk Lorentzens has put patent in the background about the nano coating, what we showed and what is on this power cell technology, on the Casimir effect, trying to block and own everything. We've seen a copy of this patent given to us. If this is the case, this is another stealing by people who were friends and close to the foundation. Now they've shown the true friendship. It was not for the foundation, it was for their personal profit. Please, the Keshe Foundation will release a letter which you can send or you yourself to inform the patent office in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Europe, in Belgium, in Central European Patent Office, that this is a public knowledge with a link to all the videos. If you can put a document together and supply the foundation, we put it on a standard form that you can supply and send, fill in to inform the patent office. This is what we call unethical conduct, and as we told you before, people will show the true color of their work. They came close, we thought, we showed, they took the knowledge and they think they can patent it to their advantage. This is a daylight robbery from the rest of the human race and cannot be done. I have informed and I've told you the needles are illegal because they can cause death, and this cannot be done. And we will support this very furiously across the world. I will inform the authorities in the right way, but we have to work the way we did with the Keshe Foundation regarding my arrest last year with so many of you. Tens of thousands of you send an email to Interpol and to the Belgian police, and you brought us everything to halt. We have to do this because even the power supplies today cannot be marketed if they put a patent in. And it gets accepted while the patent office does not know this is a stolen technology. It belongs to every one of the Keshe Foundation, millions of you, not to one person who came here, we supported, we taught with, and then they think they can take the technology. Even the needles were bought by the Keshe Foundation. The coating was done by Keshe Foundation, and she just thinks she can take it. This is a blind defiance against the Keshe ethics and rules. So they have no ethics. We have to stop it. I ask for all the Keshe Foundation supporters around the world. It's just an email. We'll put up, or you make a letter, legal letter, that we can make complaint to the European Patent Office, to Singapore, because she says she's in Singapore patenting, and the only way she can patent is with the help of Dirk Lorenz. And Dirk Lorenz, his wrote such a patent for the Keshe Foundation that it could not be broken into. So they are using the false pretense of Casimir effect, which is when you have a vacuum. We have no vacuum. And we've seen the copy of the patent. Arman brought it to me when he came back from China. Sohail is in possession of one. So we know it's true. So if you are a supporter of Keshe Foundation and you still want to be benefited by the technology development worldwide as one family, we have to put the ones who are not and don't understand the ethos of the family openness in sharing knowledge, in sharing technology, in helping each other. We have to teach them a good way. Pray for their soul, that they elevate to understand the selfishness of their work is come to an end. So when Miss Kostova came on Keshe Foundation teaching health teaching, she was not here to support us. She was deceiving all the Keshe Foundation supporters to steal when the time is right. And if we are correct, we have an email which supports that she says she is. We're going according to her own word and nobody else. The email has been transferred to Sohail in China. So we are not making allegations. This is her own writing. So if this is the case, I advise you, Elia Kostova, to withdraw, because not only you lost your respect in the Keshe Foundation worldwide, you have lost your credibility as a doctor, medical doctor, because you have no ethics. And by the code of conduct of the doctors, I do not dare you there ever to support your patients, but your own line in your own pocket. So as a member of the core central team, the soul stays with us, but the body is in the hand of the physicality of yours. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a deception, and we are going to see a lot of these deceptions as we are putting more and more technologies out. We openly show technologies, people can pick it up and patent it and block the others. So anything to do with the Keshe Foundation plasma technology, it has to be accepted by the world authorities to be an open source. We are not going to fight case by case. We are going to release case by case. And this is a complete defiance. As we told you, these were not the friends of the Keshe Foundation. They were agents who come in to stop the technology to be published. They could not do it with threatening my life. They could not do it by killing me. They could not do it by paying me billions of dollars bribe because I was richer than what they offered me. So now they have come exactly how the security services and the companies which support them to stop by patenting, coming in, learning, and then blocking us to develop, to release the technology. We will not be stopped even on the patent, because we challenge if a patent is issued as a stolen patent, and we can, and we ask you to make documents, go back through all the Keshe Foundation presentation of the needle, of discussion. She has come publicly with it and made videos about it, which is on the internet. All those videos are showing she has shared the knowledge. She cannot patent it against the patent law. And it doesn't go by who patents first. This is an open patent. She has used the Keshe Foundation technology, which is given as a gift to humanity to benefit her own pocket. This is deception. I ask any health authority, which she carries a, what do you call it, license to withdraw her license. If she does this with the trust of the organization like us, what does she do with her patients? She betrays everyone. So this has to stop. The same goes if a patent for the Casimir effect or whatever is placed by Dirk Lorenz in Singapore office. I will contact directly the authorities as high as the president, the prime minister, the cabinet ministers, to inform them this is what the Singaporean government is throwing away. free energy for the nation and the support for the nation for supporting or allowing a patent to be accepted in Singapore. Why have they gone to Singapore? It's very clear. They have found a loophole in the legal system, and we close it immediately. Today, this afternoon, I make every effort through the Iranian government channels, through other channels, even if it means to arrest, because earlier Kostova is stealing its technologies at any circumstances to support our case. I will not allow, I will not let the rest of the Keshe Foundation down, that after that, what she can do. The stealing shows the wolf came in, as I said, member of the security people of the CIA told us that she is part of the intelligence to disrupt and stop technologies. Now we've seen it's true. They come in as friends to find out what we do, and then because they can't disrupt the technology, they go a different way to get support. They are told where to submit a patent to get it through quick to stop the rest of us to benefit by it. So we have to make this as an example, because from now on, all the technologies which are coming open will not be able to go through the same thing. We need to put the energy to develop systems to stop the wars and then start the world peace than fighting with a bunch of thieves. This is a thief, a wolf in a skin of sheep. Unfortunately, I cannot and I will not kick or say Ms. Kostova cannot be a member of Keshe Foundation. We pray her soul that her ethics rises equal to the Keshe Foundation members worldwide. They change, the time of punishment is changed. But in fact, this shows there are a lot of wolves amongst us, and they come in different shapes, sizes, and colors, religions, and nationality. What is interesting is that Keshe Foundation Bulgaria has shut down, does not accept anything, which means they have, I hope, the Keshe Foundation Bulgaria, which I'm the director of, is not fallen in the hand of what I call a bunch of wolves. I know people, the director of the Keshe Foundation, and I have a lot of respect for them. I think this is an individual person in trying to defraud. The same goes, I ask Dirk Lorenz, if you have put such a patent, Dirk, withdraw it. I will not fight you. You've been a friend, and I'll just show you we know how to carry on the technology. It is not for you to decide and try to help anybody in any shape. We do it on our time, our way, and this should not have happened. But you know your position and you know where it came from. Thank you very much for this. On the other hand, this is an open teaching following Monday. So Friday and Thursday teaching. What we did on Thursday, if you will remember, we connected the two fans and everything else on this circuit. And what we see, can you see it close up? Marco, we don't have a screen. At the bottom shows 1 kilowatt, 0.8 energy we're taking from the grid. And we have put 9.5 kilowatts back into the grid, which means more or less 5 to 1, nearly, or 4 to 1, sorry, nearly 4 to 1. So we have been putting energy into the grid 4 times what we've taken. This shows the correctness of technology. For security reasons, we did not put the camera on during the weekend. This unit will be moved out of here because it's too noisy. We cannot carry on with teaching, but it will be put on a live stream camera in the other lab. So the development can be watched and followed. There is a major announcement. Once I receive the okay from our team, Vince and Jeff and Rick, that I can make the announcement, we will make an announcement which will change a lot of things around the Keshe Foundation. We'll bring Keshe Foundation in totally to a new power, and I'm waiting for Vince to tell me I can go ahead. Vince, can I announce it, or do you want to have it while you're done, while it's finished?
Just let me get all my mics set up here. Well, it's going to go up anyways. So,
Pardon?
I said it's going to go up anyways.
Okay, can we have the pictures to show?
Rick, you should have two,
Which one
and
do we have, the big one or the little one?
the big one.
Do we have the little one yet?
I'm trying to get that to Rick.
Okay, we show the big
You
one
mean
while you're doing. Rick, can we have the
got
big
the
one, please?
mini power supply as well, Vince, and I've got the MagGrav Power Universal System, right?
Okay, you got
Yes.
that one?
Is that
Okay.
the one?
Yep, that's the one.
Then I've got the mini power supply as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Okay. Can we have the MagRav system universal, please?
Are you
yeah,
on that computer, Mr. Keshe, that you can see the recording or see the picture?
We haven't received it yet. I only see my own picture.
just
Is you who's controlling?
let me share the screen here.
You got to share the screen. This
Okay.
unit is the Keshe Foundation power supply, which will be on sale from today. You can order this. Height is about 80, 85, 90 centimeter, and diameter of 30 centimeter. This is not replication of what you see on board here. What we've shown is a further development which we have now. As I said, when it's completed, we add to the knowledge. This will be organized to be going on sale within the next 60 to 90 days. We deliver. The reason we put it out so early is to know the scale. And with it, this has both a plug for a car or a plug to the main. And can we have a top picture? Do you have a top picture for us to show?
You should have one more, Rick,
Yes,
right? Okay,
yes,
perfect.
I do. Just a second here. Let me get it.
We cannot see it. We only see the
I
unit.
have
This
to.
unit will be supplied by Keshe Foundation in Italy, the Spaceship Institute. This is the top. You can plug it into anything. With 2 meters, you can see what you're consuming and what you're putting out with 4 plugs. And this is a total plasma technology. We'll explain to you in due course. We'll open it up for you to see. Marco and Arman are running a prototype testing. We know it works. It's just that to get the scale. Later on this week, we'll start the production technology for it. So within 30 days, we're trying to see. If you look at it, this is a Coca-Cola can. This is what we call mini power can size for the car. What it is the size of 330 ml can bottle you drink cola out of in the car, and it plugs into the main of the car. This is a power supply for the car to substitute and will power everything which is needed in the car, at least as a support and running. This is a surprise to you, Marco. Yeah? So what in fact the size of this can will be is less than a Coca-Cola. You can take it to any car. The cost for both has been put because of the research and development and understanding that we will supply a number of units into the third world nation free as part of the money we receive. So this cola bottle or cola can size is your next power production unit. You plug it into the system. This is a tested thing, is not a fantasy, is a tested. Now we bring it in the plasma direction. Total weight, less than 500 grams. The power unit is about 2 to 5 kilograms, depends how the structure will settle in. But this unit, you can, what we call the energy bottle, cola bottle, or cola can, will be able to at least supply part of the fuel consumption that you have. And if you have an electric car, this should be supplementing your electric supply. So you don't need to stop everywhere to charge the car up. This takes the limitation of the car drive to unlimited. You do not need power stations to charge up. The system will charge your car indefinitely. This is the answer to Chinese government. I had a long conversation with Mr. Hui. Mr. Hui, as of today, has set up production for China, which means in China, we solve the pollution problem immediately. Through the access through Mr. Hui to the Chinese government, this will be offered to Chinese government within this week, which means you have a fuel engine, it's irrelevant. We still supply. We can reduce the fuel consumption immediately. As maybe you know, we've been asked by the Ghanaian government through the SSI connections of the Space Institute of Ghana to talk to the Ghanaian government today or tomorrow sometime to transfer technology to Ghana immediately as part of collaboration with SSI, the Spaceship Institute of Ghana. This will be immediately transferred to South University of Sierra Leone for immediate commercialization in Africa. We can, if they cannot produce it, we produce it here and we will send as a gift to the Ghanaians and the government of Sierra Leone. So the other power supply you've seen, can we have the big one next to this, please? Can we share the screen in two halves? This unit will be able to supply a household. Industrial size versions will be delivered in the coming days. So we will do production. We keep the workforce in Italy. We create jobs in Italy to support the industrial infrastructure. And what we've done, instead of paying 200 euro to the government, on the panel of your purchase, you can go and order these straight away on the Keshe Foundation. The cola bottle, the cola can, or the home power unit, mini power unit. On this, we have given you two options. When you place the order, you have an option to contribute 200 euro to your nation for replacing the job which is going to be lost in power industry, that the others can find a job. And then you have a second option of 100 euro you volunteer to pay your government for using this system as taxes. This way, we set the ethos of working, not the government. And if you notice, there is a tax of 21% on purchase. This tax is because of Keshe Foundation in Belgium, sits with the Belgian government. We keep our books very clean and straight with Belgian government. If Belgian government asks for this, even though things are made outside Europe or are delivered in Europe to a non-European nation, are not taxable. If we do not and come to an agreement with the EU that we do not need to pay the 21%, the 21% will be split across the nations which they have bought the unit. So if we sell, let's say, 1 unit, or let's say 100 units, 2 in America, 5 in Japan, 10 in Europe, we split the 200 across the nations. We pay directly to your government. That we stay clean. We don't collect taxes on the backside of the Keshe Foundation. We are not looking for any outside finances for commercialization. The Keshe Foundation relies on its own internal finances, so we are not looking for investors. This is what I made very clear. On my own private assets, my own private wealth, and the Keshe Foundation backing, we support this through. So we do not need interference of government. We do not interference of financiers. If you give us this, we give you that. But what we encourage you to do is to bring industries in your own countries to start developing different versions of this. I've been assured, and if we do not receive it by Sohail, from Sohail by the end of the week, we will release A-size, double A-size, triple A-size batteries and 9-volt battery based on the interaction of the plasmatic condition, which is a lifetime more or less battery unless mechanically it fails by the end of this week. So we changed the world of power not on the heavy side, but on the commercial side. So what it means, all the 9-volt batteries, 1.5-volt batteries, now you buy rechargeable, you have to recharge it, does not need recharging. It will be supplying its own energy for 10, 20 years, whatever it will be. And you can use it as much as you like. So this week, we have finished, as we promised, the push for the battery. What we're going to do, hopefully, if Marco and Armand can complete the full development, you will see what I call rough structure working unit of power supply by end of the week, which means you will see it working, very much like what you've seen on the floor here. Alex is traveling back to us hopefully by the end of the week to see the full development in his way on the other hand side, but this is not based at all on what you think. This is, in a very simple way, directly uses plasma. I've taught you this, I've shown you this, but nobody understood it. Now I go back to the same thing as it was taught a year ago, and now you see how long I've been waiting. I'm a very, very patient man. Now it's time to open the door. We change the energy, and with this cola, look, you got to understand what happened. With the energy unit, stand-up energy unit, we have changed the world of energy. With the can, we have changed the world of oil industry. No car should need any power anymore to run on oil. Don't look at two similar things. They're two different industries. The upright Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute with power plugs is for your home. Is it directly going for the energy production? The can is going for oil industry, for automotive, not for your electric lights in the car. This is going to replace, especially if you have electrical, electric cars, which you need to recharge. Keep the battery. You don't need to go to no petrol station, no fuel station, no charger station. We develop it. This is the primary type. If we further develop the more efficient way, which I don't see at the moment, this is on the edge of science, which I think can be released. This will replace energy and automotive oil industry. You can put this to press. We have no problem in showing it because a running unit is here and there are running units around Europe that can be shown. So we are not giving a hopeful. This is replacing the total energy power supply. In due course, in the next couple of weeks, when we settle this out, we will show industrial unit where it can be used in factories. For heavy industry is the bigger case, but it can be done in due course. We will show it. I think the time has come to change the course of humanity. I said we'll change it in a direct way. And now, as we've shown the CO2 kits, we've shown the belts, the star formation. Now this is the energy and oil. And in the coming weeks, I don't put any more because of the security reasons, we will show the first flying system. You will see cars which can hover. We'll show it here in the institute. We'll show it in the research center in Italy. And it's not that it's not ready. It's just having everything in the right order to be able to show it. Don't forget the flying car, what you call it, we call it Maghreb cars, were ready on 25th of November 2011. The action of Belgian government delayed the presentation by 4 years. Maybe in these 4 years we have matured. So in the coming days or in the coming weeks, I should stop saying it because then people start looking for it. We will show the first flying systems, Maghreb systems. We are in that point. And as I said, we are getting ready for 21st of September. If the government do not comply with the World Peace Plan, we choose one satellite, we choose as a Keshe Foundation worldwide, we choose one naval ship, and we choose one aircraft carrier, which means we are handling the superpowers, and we will choose one of the most sophisticated aircrafts to bring them halt in their action, to show we are ready for peace. We do the same in parallel in the coming time with the terrorist organizations. It's not going to be one-sided. I will deliver in the way in the last week teachings I brought it, but you don't see it. I'll refer to it. We will change the mind of the terrorist. We cannot disarm the government without disarming the terrorists. We disarm the governments with the tool of war. We disarm the terrorists from their tool of thinking. Parallel work together that we push for the world peace as we plan. So if you think this is fantasy, the cameraman, you can show them the energy system. You can see it running in a more crudest way, but in a solid state way. This is a plasmatic, much more powerful. We have run this now for 5 days, and you have seen the fans and the system self-supporting itself. There is no energy, even you see all the meters running, there is no energy from outside supplied. We have taken nearly 1.8 energy. If you go across the power supply, we are supplying ourselves, and you have seen, if you can go to the power supplies, the system is self-sufficient. To this side, the cameraman, this the power unit here. Yeah, you see the power units, everything, the control panel, the total is supported by the system. All the electricity, all the power generator running the motors is supplied internally, and it will be the same. So in the can system in the car, there is no external power. You don't take anything from the car. So when you buy your car, you just plug it in and you have your system. The engine will run, but in fact, it'll be run by the starter motor. This technology was offered originally to Mercedes and Toyota some 7 years ago. They refused it. We negotiated with Mercedes-Benz in Germany, and we spoke with Toyota in Brussels, the headquarters, and they refused to accept it. Now they have no choice. What this technology means, what the can means, in due course, there is no need for engine, there is no need for a fuel tank, there is no need for gearbox and the chassis. These are old histories. You see by accident the car in the background. I just bring it forward to you. Can you see it? The car? Can you go for the car? This is the car which, if you look at it, by accident is here. This is a version of Opel, because we were given the Opel factory by Opel, and we had the support of the German government. We were offered 500 million by the German government and 500 million by Magna, Canadian company, to take over the Opel plant in Belgium to produce this car. Now this car becomes a reality. It's not anymore a dream, because you can fly it very soon, or you can power it with energy. This is what that what do you call it, cola can will do. And in fact, what we promised in the past now is part of the structure. You see it, and this is what is going to change. It's going to be a shock for a lot of people. If you go back to the time of the turnover of bankruptcy of the what do you call it, Opel, I spoke with Mr. White, the temporary president of Opel Worldwide, when he was in receivership, and I was assured we will receive the plant that we can produce this. Now we don't need a plant. People can do it in the house. What I'm going to tell you, when it comes due in time, you replace, we make it in the size, you've seen the size of a can, you replace these units with the place of your shock absorber. Then you have a flying system. You don't do anything else. Yeah, it's laughable, but it shows how long we had to wait, 6 years, 5 years, because of the bankruptcy and corruption and what we got entangled. Now it's come. We allowed the basic knowledge to be shown by Alex, but in fact, a lot of you were shocked seeing this. A lot of you thought this is the first time you've seen this. The first time this was done by Marco a year ago. You didn't realize what you were doing. And then, strange enough, The double unit, which unfortunately the guy is not here for his own greed, John made with the 8 bottles on either side, is a version of this. The connection, go back on the drawing. If we have the drawings of, we can bring the units because the unit is in the lab. You rewinded it back to 1. I'll bring your unit. You can see it. Especially the unit which is on the cylinders. It's been sitting there. It's been damaged and transferred from the Sasano to here. It's a copy of this. It's not the first time you see this unit. But because it was brought with such a wonderful man, you all understood it. I sat for a year and I thought, when would these guys understand what they have? He explains it. Now we show it as a power unit. Marco says, I don't know, I've done that. When I bring his unit, which is goes, is exactly the same. I'm a very patient man. Extremely patient man. My wife says, your patience is worse than God. You can take a lifetime. So this is not new. Actually, this is class 1 compared to PhD of his, but he didn't see it. The same with John. They didn't understand it. So this has been sitting with you for long enough. So now we developed we released a totally new technology because of this. I will explain this in very much in detail in coming days and weeks, and we see how we develop further in the structure. And in fact, this is thanks to all of you around the world who kept the knowledge open that so many people now share the same knowledge. Are there any questions? I shouldn't do this. They made a very nice video. Oh my God. Vince, are there any videos or any questions?
Just trying to.
Can you show us the publication on the Keshe Foundation? Can you share a screen with us where people can order?
That's the Keshe Foundation site. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
And who's that speaking? Sorry.
Emmanuel.
Oh yes. Okay.
RDMP.
Can we have the pictures first, please? Rick?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it up here now. From the
Marco, is this
site.
supposed to have the fans to blow at us? Can we have the fans to blow at us that on the ground? Can we move them further this side? We're waiting for Rick to go into the Keshe Foundation website, to the shop, to show the sale, the units put for sale. The reason we put 90 days is, doesn't matter what we do, in 25 days, less than 22 days, we're producing this in Italy, we're going to hit the summer holidays. Italy closes from 1st of August to the end of August. This is what the delay is put in. Otherwise,
Okay,
we would
now,
have the time.
what is it exactly you want in the shop? Sorry, is that the
Can you share your screen and I'll walk you through it?
in Skype or
What?
in
Marcos says in August, everything is closed. He knows better. He has
Skype
been
or in
here.
Zoom, Vince?
You can't even buy water. You go with
Please.
the
Okay,
sea.
well, I've got the plasma reactor star formation. Is that what you mean?
Nope. Could you please? Can you just share your screen
In what form?
in Zoom,
Skype?
where
Zoom.
we're
You don't see anything on the
Okay.
screen?
broadcasting?
Share screen.
Can you share your screen with us?
Yeah,
I
I've
think
got
he's
10
trying. Just a
screens. I'm
sec.
trying to find out which one out of 10 screens to share here. Let's see the
Do you
one
want
that's
another computer, Marco?
there's
Rick?
okay, here it is, and here's the website. I've got I'm on the store in the website. What do I do?
Here.
What do I click on?
I don't
No.
see your screen, Rick.
Can we show it on our screen here?
Okay, well,
Yes, on the shop.
let
This is the
me
shop of the foundation.
try again. It won't select that screen. Okay. I have to do it differently. I think I have to stop. This is ridiculous. Try it this way. Okay.
Okay. So if you go to the shop,
Mhm.
click on the
This
shop.
is-
Click on the shop, please. Yes, click on the shop. Okay, so scroll down a little bit. So we're at the home page, and you'll see Keshe Foundation products.
Okay.
Right in there, you see the Magrev Power Car System and the Magrev Power Universal System.
Alrighty.
So then you can click on them.
Option of the 200 euro. Oh yeah, there it is.
There we
Donation.
go. Yes. No, I did this on purpose so that because it's required to have the contribution location. Is it not, Mr. Keshe?
Yeah.
So in order to get the contribution location and finish the order, you actually have to click where it says version, click to agree to the donation. And if his screen wasn't so large there because he's trying to share it, it says fill in the contribution location to the side, and there's arrows. So if you click under the version, you'll see the button go, Rick, thank you. And then you have the choice to add zero more to the price, where only $200 will be contributed to the government of your choice. Or you can choose $100 extra, Rick, and it'll add it to the price automatically, and you could choose the $200 and it'll add it to the price automatically. Is that okay for you, Mr. Keshe?
It has to be 200 plus 100. Two options. They can do the 200 to the taxes to the nation and 100 for the fee, because that way they agree to pay the fee. It's okay. We can sort it out.
We can sort that out. Okay.
Where is the power unit for the home?
That's the car. So just go back, Rick, back button, and go to the home one. And that has the same thing where you can click to the agree to the donation, and you can add in a donation.
Rick, sorry, Vince, you have to make it 200 and a 300 donation, not 100 and 200. The
No
200 will be
problem.
for the government, the 300 will be for the government and the taxes. Then the foundation pays the taxes. We stand at a point of power to be able to negotiate that it does not get touched. So it has to be 200 and 300. 300 is 200 plus 100 for annual fee. We tax ourselves. We accept responsibility that we don't need governments to do it for us. And then otherwise they put 1,000, 2,500 taxes on these units. You have to understand the implication, why we did this. This is fantastic. Thank you very much. So from today, you can actually purchase a power unit, and in a coming time, with less than €1,000, we hope you should be able to purchase a hovering unit. If you want to fly with your car, you have a choice. In the coming time, we'll announce it. The technology is in hand, we have it. But as I said, we tighten the screw and nudge at the time. Last week we done with the energy and with the fuel with this. We wait into August, September to come in with a flight. We give time to be seen. We deliver the technology to be done. And as we said, they said, show us proof of a pudding. The unit has been running for 5 days. And there are units in Europe which has been running for over 8 weeks, 9 weeks. Thank you very much indeed. So are there any questions?
Hello,
Hello, yes.
it's Manuel from Malta. About
Hi,
how are you?
Emmanuel.
All right. About the double wall jars, plastic jars. Are you gonna make them for safety?
I cannot understand your question. Can you speak again?
Okay. About the plastic.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Can you take over? Just 1 second. I'll come back. Yes, the mic.
Okay. Hello, Vince.
I'm here.
Okay, okay. To check if those plastic jars, you know, with the 2 walls, if they're going to be on sale also.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, I think you have to wait about 5–10 minutes before we take your question.
Okay.
There is a reason for it. Just once. Can you move this slightly to the side? Keep your camera there. No, keep, Marco, can you give a hand for this to be moved out of the way? Yeah. Can we move? Just it's okay. You keep your camera there. We are here. We are not, especially we keep the camera offline, off the screen. Okay, can you move this to the side? Okay, not much. That's enough. We can see it. Can you move these tables to that side? Just push all the tables. And that central system. You will come to understand the reason in 1 second. You just stay there till we get it sorted. Just 1 second, please. Yeah. No, my microphone is open. Okay, just wait 1 second. Come in. Now you see, just take from there. The door there. Okay, now you see what we brought in. What we said about the car, this is the first electric bike which we converted to be used on the new cola bottle. This is the version. This bike will stay here. It's part of the structure of the Keshe Foundation. The power unit, we'll go through it later on. The power unit, the battery, can you, let him see it. Can you come inside? Go, yeah. Go, power. This is made in Eastern Bloc, marketed in Italy with a plug. What we're going to do, we just plug this into the system, into the Coca-Cola bottle, and it will supply the system, the bike. And the design for this, it is in the hand of the knowledge seekers workshops in the afternoon sessions. And when you succeed with us, then next week we have 7 vehicles. people carrier, rubbish collector, minivan, and the rest of it. So this is what we promised you. I told you on Friday, you'll get a bike. There are 2 of these here. It's okay. You take everything with you? Yeah, yeah. So this is, actually, there is another one in the new research center. This is part of the building, is in there. Thank you very much, Giovanni, to bring it. Indeed. Thanks very much. Thank you, indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Cash. That's quite exciting. I like it. Great.
So what you see, we are not talking anymore. We are in there to make the change, and we are strong enough to stand the failure. But as what we have in translating this knowledge to literally, if I can find one, yeah, can you show me? Okay. We got to see how it turns out. Yeah? Yeah?
Aspetti un po'.
Yeah?
Quando fai quello rosso, stendi di qua
Yeah?
e fai qua. Adesso funziona, vedi?
Yeah? Perfecto. Let me try. Okay, switch off. Spende di qua, ok?
Ok.
And then di qua.
Ande di qua, stringi di qua.
Stringi di qua.
Luce, si spendi tutto.
Yeah?
Qua, qua. Ok, verde.
Verde.
Lasci libero. Dopo. Piano, piano, piano. Questo viene laterale.
Perfecto. Grazie. You will see a lot of Giovanni with us. He is responsible for all the cars in the site. All the tests will be done by him. He looks after these vehicles. Thanks very much. Thank you. Buona giornata. Thank you. So what is going to happen is, you thought there is a joke. There is no joke with me. Not at this level. My name worth a lot. So what we're going to do, this is more or less the size of the can. What you've seen, you place it inside the component of the battery, and that's your power supply. This is all it needs to be done. They change, this car will run for as long as possible, because don't forget, while you're not using it, this battery gets charged. It's continuous, and when it gets to the point of saturation, it stops on its own. Boys, you better get in the lab. No, you can't drive it. So these 2, Marco has been working very hard over the weekend, and Armin, to get the thing ready, that you can see it. It's a beautiful system coming up. And so we take the next step on, is total commercialization. If you can drive a car for 10, 20,000 kilometers without charging it, you don't have to worry when is the next time. And what Tesla has done, that you need to charge your bike or your car and go home to charge, the house is over.
So first we have a Persian flying carpet, and then we have an Italian flying motorcycle.
Sandy, she's supposed to fly us. She accepted the responsibility, not me. I brought the carpet. So what you see is we mean what we say, and we are in for the challenge. We bring Alex back next week or 2 to see it through. We show the performance. We have about 2-kilometer runway, or we can create more than 2-kilometer runway in the new research center, which the bike can run. We bring people around the world to sit one at a time till you get tired, next person takes over. Because we are not putting in a lab technician, we put it on the road. We have a huge facility there. Am I correct? We can do it. We've got about 60,000 square meters of land to test. We have all trains. We can go on it paved. We can go on a dirt track. Everything we can try. So the game has changed. The game of energy has changed. The game of oil industry has changed. Unlimited energy supply as long as you need, when you need it, at 0 cost. You have to understand, we charge, or we put a charge of €500 for the system, because For us to be able to bring the technology worldwide, we need to support the third world nations who cannot even have a welding machine to build such a thing themselves. So a lot of units will go into Africa, into third world nations, even in Europe, to the households who have children and no money to support the fuel. We give them the units free. Keshe Foundation has done this with the health system for years, so it's something normal for us. We do, even the people on the knowledge seeker backgrounds, you don't know them, that they wrote to us, they can't afford the fee, can we support them? And they've been given a free knowledge seekers access. This is something I've always done, and to me, is part of the structure of living, being part of the human society. You give to the ones who don't have. We don't choose color and races. We know thousands of people here in Europe which with children go frozen because there is no money to pay for electricity. Those families take priority for us to be given power unit before winter. They stand a priority for us. The families who have vehicles but they cannot support the fuel, the father spends half of the money of earning just to go to work. We give them the units first, and the money for the fuel which is there goes to the family for the children. It's not that Africa is needy, Europe is more needy. America is worse. We saw what happened in the floods of New Orleans. We saw worse than third world nations in the most advanced nation in the world because it's well covered up. So it goes irrespective of nation, color, barriers. I have asked Mr. Hoy to see to the development and the sale of the units in China to end with the air pollution in Beijing and Shanghai. I'm sure with the connections Mr. Hoy has, the government will force the sale of this in China very rapidly. We will produce the first unit in the coming days to be able to push the technology through. Where is our Italian delegation? He escapes everywhere, huh? There he walks in. Is the guy coming today? What time? 12 o'clock. Would he be able to come online? Does he mind? He doesn't mind. He's always on television. 12 o'clock for the casting. Oh, it's okay. No problem. I sorted out with you. We see who comes 12 o'clock. Which one is coming what time? Yeah. What's the second one? And he is the assistant. But is it the, who is he? Is it the one which was here 2 or 3 weeks ago? No, he's on. Yes, he was here. No, it's not. No, Daniela. Okay, no problem. So you see these people, they're coming here. We start the production with the people who can support us very rapidly. So we start the structure of the Italian production system as of today. The people already organized. You got to understand who this guy is. He's not a student here. He's a decoy. He is the, you see Giovanni a lot, he speaks a lot, but he runs everything to do with Keshe Foundation in the background, arranging everything which is to do with us here in Italy. Is handled by even the production, the manufacturing, everything we need is done by him. He's just a disguise here sitting as a student because he has to be if we need something. So you see what happens. He knows everybody and everything, and unfortunately, he's Italian. He can't help it. I discovered something new about the Italian this week. No, we better leave it. I discovered why Italians have a very nice, if you stand and watch a football game, and if you ask, can I play? They say no. And when they say to you no, you have to say thank you that you don't let me to play. Say, oh, come and play. This is the Italian mentality. So when you want to do anything with the Italians, you say, can I play or can I join the game? They say, no, no, no. And you say, thank you very much. Oh, no, come in, you can play. we found it. So it's the Italian, what do you call it? The structure of behavior. Yes. That's why they come and push behind you on the motorways. To push, oh, come in, oh, thank you, I'll pass. So now we realize if you're in Italy and you want to do anything, a game or whatever, you go and ask, can I play? They say no and say, thank you very much. Oh, no, come in. So we learned that one after 2.5 years being in Italy. So what you see now is the next, once the knowledge seekers design a system to be able to move, this will not be given support by these two guys. These two guys in the afternoon disappear now. You lot, you have Dr. Antonio with you. You sit down, you understand what it is, you understand that system, you design a system that can work. Is that good enough? You're both electrical engineers, you're one from Westinghouse. Woo! Very hot. All the nuclear power stations around the world are built by Westinghouse. It's part of the contract. Except Russians. Even they do it with General Electric, but now Westinghouse does all the PWRs if nuclear power gets another chance. So he's been there. He knows what it is. So, and we have another electrician from Eastern Bloc, and we have a very professional Eastern Bloc electrician here. He doesn't say, but he's an electrical engineer. He understands everything, but it's a very humble person. So we see how we bring things in. He got red again. He doesn't like to be touched. He's a very good man. He was working yesterday in the lab, making sure that the new structure of the power supply is perfectly done. He's a perfectionist, so I left him. I said, I have to go, something to do. And I had a very important thing to do. What was it? Lying on the beach. Because if I'm in the lab, nothing is done. So I went to the beach 2 kilometers down the road, and I said, I hope he gets it right. So this is the difference between a married man and a bachelor. You have all the time in your world. You have life, and I have wife. The two don't work. You decided. Armin decided that I'd take a Sunday off. He had to do the cleaning. He was wearing the skirt and a broom. So we go that way. So what you see, I try to escape in between the pictures. Yeah, I look very good on the bike, huh? Can I get it right? No, I've got to go a little bit in this way. Yeah, it is. I'm in the bike.
There you go. Just put your hands on the handlebars a little bit there. It's
it
perfect.
looks like 2 years.
Yeah.
We have to move this bike somewhere. It's too much in the middle. Yeah? You want me to go a little more this way?
Take a picture first, though.
This is the Keshe Foundation flying car. You see now it flies away. Pardon? The key, you don't need it. I put the key in my pocket that you lot don't get cheeky with it. Can you go back a little bit? Go back. You need to come back. Just park it there. That's perfect. That's okay. Leave it there. Leave it there. That's perfect. Oh my God. One Romanian could lift the bike. Two Americans and Slovak cannot do. Come on, get the muscle breakfast. So now we're seeing this till it's done. What will be interesting is how we're going to develop this knowledge and how we can use it for peaceful application and how we are going to change the course of humanity in an order that we all benefit by it. This bike is symbol of freedom. Freedom from the shackle of oil, freedom from shackle of energy. And in the coming weeks, we will release the medical system. The medical system is ready to be launched. With it, we'll release the flight system. With it, we release the food system. The proposition is very simple. We work together as one family and one nation, and together we benefit by it, even though some people think they're better than the others and the greed will bring them to patent office in Singapore. I feel ashamed to be in that position, but if it is the way they see themselves wealth, they already lost the game. Marco, the can is there on the table if you're looking for it, and it's empty. I haven't filled it up yet. Marco, can you show him in there? He's poking in there. He's running away not to be seen. He's poking to see how the connection is very simple. Is made in Poland, I think. I think so. Check. He wants documents. I will tell you when it's made. Don't take it out because it's got a license number on it. No, don't touch it. It's got, there we are. Yeah. It's got everything here. I don't know what you can see. He can't see it. He's disappointed. It's okay. It's made in Eastern Bloc. So I know because I tell you something. You can buy this bike now for 8,000 euro in Europe. This is the cost of it. So we can give you, yes, 8,000 euro. This bike is sold for 8,000 euro. Yes. That's what they are selling it for. It's an electric bike. So with the energy system, we're going to sell it for 80,000 euro. No. It's free. We collect the taxes in advance. We moved the Sheikh Saudi oil wells into Keshe Foundation bank account. So what we're going to do, it will be sold at a price which the factory sees fit, because they were not expecting such a development. And this brings thousands of jobs into Eastern Bloc. This bike is, there are very few bikes which are electric bikes in the world at the moment. This is fully done. Even the cars are fully electric, done Eastern Bloc way, but beautifully done. You see it, it's like Honda. I just got to put a Vespa on the side of it. And it really looks like a Vespa. So we automatically give jobs, huge jobs to Eastern Bloc to produce more electric cars. This brings thousands of jobs into the country which manufactures this car. They've developed it, selling out once. Now it gives a mass production, a scale. We put this bike in a coming week on sale on Keshe Foundation website.
Can I have a request, Mr. Keshe? I have a request. I said I have a request, and I think a lot of people out there have the same request.
Yes.
Can you make the first flying car a DeLorean?
Yes. That was my wish. I love the guy and I love the car. It's a Back to Future car, DeLorean. They made him bankrupt because he was too advanced in his time. He made it in Northern Ireland. He received and they destroyed the man. And actually, it's a perfect car for flying. You know the Back to the Future car? That's DeLorean. It's always one color, silver color, more or less, most of them. So if you can find, I know there is somebody in America who does repair them. If you find him, he sends us one, we make it fly. Or we put it on the carpet. One here in America. Can we have it here?
We have a big enough subscriber base.
A few weeks ago in Italy.
We have a big enough subscriber base. That's an open call for all our supporters. Please send a DeLorean to the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute.
We need one, or you're going to get the Persian flying carpet, and then you don't want Sandy to ride you, huh? You might ditch in the sea somewhere between here and America. Atlantic Ocean is very deep and very long. You got to realize we are not joking again. We are not this past the point of making a joke. And now you see the power supply system. You see how we are at 9.6 and 1.8. And you see how, translating a knowledge, we can supply the bike. You got to realize something very important. The power supply in this system is the national grid, is the Italian national grid. Here, the power supply is the initial battery supply. So you have the same demand. This goes back to our education, which we did, and a lot of people never understood, and even one of the knowledge seekers accused us, you're using a wrong meter. He was a wrong knowledge man, Marek. So to prove him he's wrong, we send our system for testing by the manufacturer, came correct. The principle is the same. We created a demand, and we met the demand. At 129 Tesla, at 12 watts of energy, everyone told us it's crazy because they never understood. As I explained this before, we set the system, which is that's the system hanging here. Our cameraman is asleep. This is the 129 Tesla system. I think one core has been changed there because of it was damaged. This one is a 129 system. The 129 system, as I explained, there were two gas sets of the structure, the cell formations. This, they asked for it, and it shot in the direction where the detector was 129. There is no difference between this and this. Now, this sits here, and this sits here. This is a battery demanding energy. This is the power supply giving the energy. That's all it is. Game hasn't changed. This is the same as a proton and an electron. Proton demands energy from an electron to be able to carry on, and at time when it's needed, the proton supplies it. It comes close. This is what you call, in the world of physics, the S1 band, which is very popular. Now, maybe you understand a little bit more. You have a proton, you have an electron. Electron comes close through the gravitational pull, charges itself up, and then when it gets to a charge point, it gets back up through magnetical field of the system. You're not doing anything different here, here, or here. When it comes to gravitational, it comes close, receives charge, and it takes its time, and it comes close again, rotates, evolves, and it goes. So this system, what you see here, the energy, the demand is not the electron, the demand is the battery. And that sets the course for the plasma to release its energy. You understand? That's why you're setting that the structure. So now we see the process. Now you see, I think the can we're going to use is a slightly bigger, because I was talking to the American guys. Nothing in America is as small, is always bigger, half a liter can. So they are giving us a measurement of half a liter can. Am I correct? 33 mil is not enough for an American mouth. It's too big. So it needs a bigger one to fill it up. Minimum, yeah. So the Americans say, we get it here. They sell it in some shops here. It says American size mouth, Coca-Cola. So this is slightly bigger. So it will meet the demand, it will meet the standard, and everything we put in operation will meet all the international standards. Unless they move the standards for us not to meet, then we release it public anyway. The strange enough is, let me explain to you something. I'm well trained in my business life to know one thing. If we get blockage, we will never break the law, but we know how to bend the law. I know exactly how to bend the law to be fitted that everyone will have a power supply. Very simple. So we know the way that we can get a Coca-Cola bottle to you in pieces, that you put it together if they stop it in the customs. So I'm talking to the government. The power unit, because we've seen this with Sohail, they blocked, and then they blocked, people don't receive, and we get a complaint, you didn't send it. We send it, sitting in the custom, is blocked deliberately. So we send it in a way in 20 pieces that you put it together. And we give you the manual on the internet. So you go on the Keshe Foundation, this piece fits there, and this piece fits there. I've got two experts, and we have a cameraman. When he's awake, he can do it properly. Correct? So we, in any shape or form, we allow you to have it. Then it's your responsibility to say, I have a unit, do you want the 200 or not? So it's been built to be transported in compartments. So if the governments play game, we know the game. You receive 5 packages. All you need to do is stack it up. Even it means we send you cores in different package, the others in other packages, but we make sure everybody has it. And then strange enough, African nations wanted it straight away. So it'll be very, very good proposition to do it this way. So we tell you, don't block us. We already pre-planned the blockage. You can stop 20 systems. 21st one will be dismantled in pieces. And now we set up 3 countries, which you can't see which country is coming from. It'll arrive from China, from Italy, from the United States most probably. And then what you do, you receive gifts from all over the world. That's your energy supply. So we have already taken the step to follow it. I would not let the technology be shelved. I would not let the technology to die. And this is what the position is. I told you, I know every games how to bring world nations to one and dismantle the presidents and the kingships. But you have to keep to the ethos. Anyone who refuses to pay the 200 euro and 100 euro taxes, you'll find out they receive a note from Keshe Foundation. Sorry, we are out of supply. It means you already start defrauding and cheating your nation. Why should we support you? So those 2 clicks are not there for charity. Those are to show who we are dealing with. And if it's not fulfilled, the system does not see a full balance that you're committed to your nation to create employment, and you're not prepared to pay your taxes, and you're a thief. Keshe Foundation needs to educate you through your soul. You've got to wait a little bit longer till we receive supply. It means you receive your soul elevated to a light level. Correct, Mr. Albert? You are the cause of all the problems. Yeah, you came too far. So now you see where we are going. You have the bike, and if you want, I make a telephone call, the car will be here too. You choose. You want a van? You want a people carrier? There is a truck, open back. There is a covered back unit. And the structure of the car is like this. The whole light here is full of batteries. There is about half a ton of battery. And then we're going to replace it with maybe a Coca-Cola unit or maybe a power unit. And as you've seen, the bike was not brought on the back of a van. It was driven here because he had a number license plate on the back of it. So it's licensed to drive in European cars, streets. So we're going to offer this one for maybe 8,000 to 9,000 euro in the coming weeks, maybe before Friday. But we have to see how factory can supply the demand. So you can have a bike to go to work, never worry about the fuel. Please do not come to United States. It's too far to fly over the water. You got to wait a little bit. Would you like one? There is 2 more in the garage if you want. Just because it's you, you're American, you always have a lot of money, $80,000. These people from Eastern Bloc, 8 will do. Doesn't matter, we buy 10 out of your money and we give 1 to them free. No, he can pay, he's a good engineer. So now you see the game has changed. We brought it in as fun, we brought it as a part of teaching, and amazing enough, as I walked in today, Bill is standing on the phone, talking at the reception. I thought, it's a strange beard hanging behind the sign. A woman from China was talking to Bill that we want to join the online teaching. We can't come to Italy. So they fill the form in. They want to be as fast as possible. If we pay today, do we get connected today? I said, yes, by tomorrow. By the way, Sandor, the reference number, what was it? There is a reference number from China. Oh, you want to know what this is? This is a deception of Japanese government. They send us contaminated material from Fukushima, reactor number 1, through the international post, contaminating everyone. And this is the evidence for it. We are in it. So sorry about that. Even in the wrong pocket. Where did I put it, Bill? You gave me the paper. I got it. Okay. Wait, Sandor, 1 second, please. If you can open the channel for these guys, once you see their payments is confirmed, is your reference number 4420001. Li Ching. If you can open the line for them, they said they're going to pay today. I'll have a look if it's done. She says she has no problem, but she wanted to make sure she's connected today.
Just a second. Just a second.
2 students. Reference number is 44Z001. I have to read American writing. Is that 44Z or is it 442? 442. So it's 4420001. There are 2 students from China. They want to be, just see if they confirm. You can open them up for teaching today. So now we see. Let's answer the question. Emmanuel, I try to answer your question.
Yes.
A bit louder, please.
All right. Last time you showed the containers with double walls. Are you going to make them for sale?
Pardon, the containers?
The one used for the cup of life. Last time you showed it.
Cup of life.
No, the plastic containers with the double walls.
Yes.
Are you going to make them for sale also?
Yes. Give us
Okay.
a couple of weeks or so. You got to understand we have to bring everything to an end by 25th, 26th of July because the institute closes. And then we restart in September. Whatever we start now, we have to speak with our Italian people here. And then we'll see what the next step will be.
Okay. When using the power supplies in the motorbike or in the car, is the battery
buy the motorbike.
Is the battery necessary or not necessary?
What is necessary?
A battery.
Yes,
You need
the
a battery?
battery is part of it.
Okay.
The battery is needed because when you are there, it's already charged.
All right. So you have to have the batteries.
Yes. Do you want to place the first order?
Yes, yes.
Go online. You can put a bike on sale on Vince. Do you want a good picture? I'm a very good salesman. No. It's not for auction. It's to get it power supplied. So if we do everything now, we're a car showroom. How much? Yeah, it flies. Yes, no problem. Yeah, it's not that we don't sell the bike. We sell the bike when it's fitted with a battery system that it powers itself. There's no use selling it. You just put it in there. You give it the energy of a cola, all the sugar, it takes it going. Now you know why. What's his name? Alex put CH3 in his tissue paper. This is energy, sugar, Coca-Cola. You understand?
Mr. Keshe,
Yes.
meanwhile, I checked, I found these IDs. There is Lang Liu with ID 4420001, and the second is Ching Li.
Yeah, two of them. They want to.
444, number 444001. Both applied for location of a study in China. So
Yes.
the establishment of the Spaceship Institute in China is a work in progress. If they want to join earlier, faster, I would send them an email to join to the online.
They want to come online straight away, and then they join the Chinese SSI teaching afterwards. They are part of the structure of Mr. Hoy, which is setting up.
Okay, I am sending them right now an invitation to join the online course with the...
Yes, but they said they tried to pay today for it, so
okay.
you can do so, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, so we see how we go and how we teach. Next question. Is there any more question? Or have we silenced the critics? I think we managed after so many years.
Mr. Keshe, I have a question. Now,
Who's one? I don't know that voice.
this is
God.
Rick from above.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Armand said, God.
Okay, message from God. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned in the car, you mentioned this several times about how the starter motor is involved, and as part of the plasmatic reaction, basically. And I'm interested. I can't quite get my head around this. You mentioned it several times. And so do you mean the starter motor acts like a electric motor and it gets
Motor,
engaged
yes.
with the
Yes.
flywheel of the motor and
Yes.
drive shaft? Or is
The
it not
way
mechanical?
it works, the starter motor will run the engine. This is what we see. There is a need for new style of cars. Even electric motor cars have to be redesigned in that respect. But initially, yes.
So, okay, and let me just.
He's a mechanic. He knows.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my mind into it here. And so you're saying the
You see,
actual.
what you do, Rick,
Are,
the way it works, you charge up your battery continuously. It looks like a 30 kV to run a starter motor.
okay, so with the motor itself, the gears would actually be engaged with the flywheel all the time.
You
And
still
running.
drive as a normal car.
Okay.
You understand? You
Not
still drive as a normal engine.
Uh-huh.
With a
But
gearbox, pardon?
yes, but how does the
Pardon?
start?
Oh, yes, we have
Starter?
somebody who can explain. Wait 1 second.
I could see
We
maybe
have-
if it was the alternator, that would make sort of more sense. But the starter, I can't
Okay,
get my head around
you
it.
want this here. Rick?
Yes.
Mladen and I got in trouble talking in class on Friday about the abuse that the starter motor is taking in driving this car. Eventually, the motors will be replaced with pure electric to drive the car, but right now, that car driving around London, the starter motor is doing an awful lot of work. It's powering the ring gear on the outside of the flywheel. And so, yeah, the starter motor is engaged all the time. We were just discussing the bearings in the motor and how that was going to hold up. But that's what's giving him this better gas mileage.
Right, I see. Okay.
So new and improved is coming, but right now he's running on his starter motor.
Okay, well, that answers part of the question.
This is a talk from man from Westinghouse. He knows what is it. No, the knowledge of the Westinghouse. We're giving you credibility. Okay, any other questions from the God above?
No. Okay. Great. There's a question from Idun. Does Mr. Keshe recommend to use the Alex technology? Does this technology harm souls?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We will put data about the bike on the line by this afternoon or tomorrow morning, because the structure is within the structure of the Keshe Foundation.
So there'll be regular updates on the progress with
We'll
that.
send the detail this afternoon to you to load up if you want to buy the bike, waiting for the battery. But we only sell the bike once we support the battery.
Okay. Well, there was a question.
Excuse me, this is for you. It says from Estefana. It says Daniela Davani. Is it the guy who's coming here today? Davini, he's coming today. Yes, he's the world champion, racing champion. Yes. This guy was with us a few weeks ago, and he walked in, and he was wearing the Keshe Foundation belt. I said, where did you get it from? He said, from Hong Kong. I said, you've seen the system before I do, and we designed it here. So he's a world champion in racing. I was explaining to race offshore, yeah. And it's done with the racing, yeah. Keshe Foundation have supporters in different shape and forms, but we'll see where it comes. Are there any questions we can talk, or we're done? Oh, it's all to do with DeLorean.
Mr. Keshe, this is Kayvon.
He's there every day.
I want to use up my one question per week. My one only.
Bill says it's only Monday, Kevin. What's your excuse tomorrow?
I love Mondays. Mr. Keshe, you explained last time when Alex was with us, you said it's sort of a Houdini trick, or sort of a distraction, that putting the GANs into the quarter of a tank. So actually you don't need it. I didn't get that part. Why in the first place put the GANs into the tank then?
Oh, he wanted to make sure that it's got the connect. But don't forget, let me explain to you as a decoy. You see, what is done is very simple. Here you have the hanging basket, star formation, and you have the beads in the lab. But somewhere out here, we have a single core running down here. Excuse me, cameraman. Here, this one. If you can see it, you can't show it. I'll bring it. It's on wheels. It's a handicap unit. It's on wheels. It goes everywhere on the wheels. This is what Marco made, ready to fly. Armo made this. You see, this is the decoy. In a way, is there to create a background connection. So you see, it's sitting there. Now it's the same thing. He's got a bead on the dashboard. He's got a unit on the floor of the car, and CO2 is a decoy. It's where the energy comes if it's needed. When there is not enough energy or there is a lack of energy, CO2 filled backup system. So it's always handy to have a cup of CO2 somewhere around the car. But because it is in a liquid form, it stays dynamic all the time. You understand how it works? The plasma is open, so it's continuously have the connection when it's needed. It's actually a fuel tank reserve. You got it now? So what you need, not only Coca-Cola, you can have half a cup of Pepsi-Cola with CO2. Now you understand. Now you work it out, you know what it is. That's why it sits in a liquid state. The mentality has to change. In the car, very old one, it used to be all square and all black because Mr. Ford said, he has a bead here, he has a reactor here, and this is the fuel tank. He has a bit of gas here. Yeah? You cannot add up. You said Friday you were thinking about it because to you, you're still in a young, childish, schizophrenic condition, not like these two masters. You are used to seeing an engine with the wheels, with a camshaft, with a fuel line to the tank. That something needs to go to feed the engine. In plasma technology, the field of a plasma covers the universe. Now you understand. Problem solved. So, Kevin Damana, how much you have no more questions left for this week? Make sure you only come on when there's a good contribution for a drink for everybody around the table. And don't send the food basket.
He spends all weekend thinking up the question too. Is just the
My
worst
God,
one.
he dreams and questions.
Actually, he's got some pretty good ones these days too. So I'm.
What's the other question?
From Kevin, or
there is no more questions?
Let's see here.
He says it's a very good one. There is a DeLorean, an auto Scott.de for sale, 3,500 kilometers, 40,000 euro. Would you like to donate it to the foundation? Yeah, DeLoreans are very expensive. Only 3,500. This is like the, you know, the joke about the brain in the market? You know the joke? The guy goes to the market. He says a big, different ones, very fresh, one semi-fresh and all shriveled up. He says, how much is this one shriveled up? The big one, he says, $1,000. He says, no, it's too expensive. He says, what was that? He says, 500. This has been used, belonged to a professor, a little bit, so it's half price. He says, how much is that? Sure. One says, that's free. He says, well, is Einstein's is fully used, nothing left in it. So this is our used car, is more expensive. It says 97 HP, built in 1981. I don't know where is he. It's Rana Lim. It says, can we set up factories here in our country for the energy unit? Yes. We have an agreement. We provide, if there is a sufficient scientific and mechanical background to supply, we give the blueprint free. This is part of the structure. In Philippines, yes, I know you can support it. You have an infrastructure to do it. When you have a company who's prepared to apply it, we supply the same as we did with our patents. We supply the whole technology blueprint free of charge to the company and not to individuals to cause more havoc. But it'll be done. This is what I said to Mr. Hoy this morning. Once we completed it, the blueprint will be sent to China for the Chinese government and Chinese Republic. And it's not just Mr. Hoy, but there'll be the people who will see it through to be done. It says you don't need to set up. To do these kind of things, you need people in industrial scale that they can do it immediately. The problem is once we, in the coming days, we release the first batteries, the power supplies, it will go crazy worldwide. It has to be done by governments or multinationals. We see where we're going to go. Yes, I know you Dutch are very, very fast. We will bring the data sheet when we do it in according. It's no data sheet. You take energy as much as you like. What do you want me to do? The more you put demand, the more it supplies.
Yes, Mr. Keshe, I would like you to go over the differences between what was offered before as a power unit and this one, which is a MagRav power universal system. Can you go
It's
over the
totally
differences?
different.
Yes, please. Can you go over those two differences and the
Yes,
fact that it's
the
cheaper? It's
power supply which we did to go to supply before, they were nuclear-based system, and now we moved away from nuclear, is much cheaper to set up and is much easier to control. The one we put for 5,000, we were blocked deliberately by the Belgian government. Now it can be done very easily, and that's why we could have still kept the price at 5,000. And as we say in English, milk people. We don't do this. We are very clear. We estimate the cost of manufacturing each unit will be about $50 to $100. The surplus we collect as usual goes for research, further technologies, supporting the background, and giving units freely to third world nations and even the world, whenever whoever needs it. So if you want to pay still 5,000 euro, I still call it a power unit, and you are welcome to pay me 5,000. It becomes 10 units. If you are still happy to pay the 5,000 as you made a contract with the Keshe Foundation, I'll assure you one thing. If you can, you paid 500 deposit, you pay the balance of 4,500. I put I put 10 units to any third world nation you choose. Is that good? You made an agreement with us to have a power supply 3 to 4 kilowatts for 5,000 euro 2-3 years ago. Now we are delivering it to you. Would you like to keep to your old commitment and you still pay the balance 4,500, but this time is not 3-4 kilowatts, is as much as you need whenever you need, and plus you might get paid by your government. And then I put for every 500 euro, 2 units back into a third world nation you choose. So 2 times 9 is 18, we call it 20 units. You fulfill your balance of your agreement, and I put 20 euro to even in European countries, to people who need it. Electricity bill is a big part of a family expenses. You choose the 20 family, I deliver from the Keshe Foundation. That's the difference. The difference is the technology is cheaper to develop, cheaper to produce, so the benefit goes back to you. I wonder how many of the people who paid the 500 because they didn't receive system, now they're going to pay 5,000 and say, I still want the system. We have 25 people who have not called their money back. The rest they did and they've been refunded. And these 25, if they like, they can appoint 20. So 500 people around the world will receive free unit for their family. You can choose your brothers and sisters, I don't care. Actually, if I was you, choose your enemies and give them a gift of life, they become friends. So I will send one to the Belgian king. He needs it. Because otherwise it'll be done. Any other question? The thing is, last time when we did it, they blocked us. This time, the unit is playing in front of you. You don't need to believe my word, is running. Next to the bike, the system is running 2 fans, its own power supply, and it's putting 5 times more than what it receives.
I noticed that some people say and show pictures that the movie Back to the Future predicted that the DeLorean would show up in October, I think October 21st of 2015, which is coming up this fall.
October 21st?
I think it's the 21st or the 26th, depending on which one you listen to.
2016 or 2015?
2015, this
I
fall.
think everybody should get we need to get a DeLorean to the SSI.
Pardon me, Mr. Keshe.
Yeah. Listen, I have a bet here. Bill says from America that it'll be very nice to have him on that day flying. It's what day is it? 21st of
October.
21st of October.
Yes.
This is the day we gave a deadline to the government. Shall we put it next to a satellite?
I thought that was September, Mr. Keshe.
We do it both. Every month one.
Well, the
Now we need 2 DeLoreans. One for 21st and one for 21st of September and one for October. Marco is shaking his head. Says, how many nights do I have to work now? Is that okay? Anybody's got a DeLorean to put next to a satellite? Or would you like to land a DeLorean on a board of a space, what do you call it, aircraft carrier? That'll be nicer.
yeah, it'd be nice to get a donation of a DeLorean to work
I
on.
tell you something. He's not going to speak about it, but I'm going to tell you something. Some of you might know, some of you might not know. He's going to shut everything down, but I say it before he shuts it down. The gentleman in the background called Vince, he had his system flying over the weekend. Our webmaster, do you want to take it up, Vince? Now I've blown the whistle. He disappeared. Vince.
I went for coffee.
Yeah, okay. Do you want, oh, I lost my thing. I don't know. I lost my picture. I don't know how I look now. That's not good. Okay. Do you want to explain to us how your system flew over the weekend or you found it somewhere else?
Just give me a moment here. I see YouTube kind of froze. Just give me a moment, okay?
Yeah. What happened? I just give you a background. I know he's going to correct it. This is what I understand happened. He went to dream and his system went dreaming with him. He must have been dreaming in flying the system. And while he was dreaming, the system flew, I think. He's going to explain to us. I'm not going to say. This is what I said. a number of people have systems who are ready to fly, is the wish. And let him fill up his YouTube channel. And now you're bringing DeLorean. Now we show you is not the only system. You have to understand that a lot of people have achieved this. A number of, we know, 3 or 4 people have achieved not hovering but lift, and are keeping quiet. And through what we showed last week with Alex, they have been strengthening heart to come forward to show. But they don't want to be in public. They don't want to come and show it the way, what do you call it, Alex did. But I found my first victim. He doesn't mind, so he's a webmaster. He can explain what happened to him, and I asked him to take pictures, see if he's going to show it to us. So you see the first lift motion, and it's the only time he didn't have his camera on. Are you there, or have you chickened out, Vince?
I got nothing to hide. I'm working feverishly in the background to try to see if this is a YouTube issue or if it's me. Can I just get some quick feedback from people on YouTube to just make sure that's going okay? Because I can't seem to get it going live on my side.
There is a question here. He says, I understand correctly, the order power system unit is expected to pay 200 euro donation. You pay the 200 donation, we pay to the government, you allocate for the jobs is going to be lost. They have to prove that they created jobs with it. It's not just that you bought it. Maybe in, let's say in France, we sell 1,000 units, that's 200,000. We affect the energy system people. If the energy system people who lose the job would like to set up a factory to produce the power units, that's where the money is going. We'll do the same very soon with the doctors, because the new systems which is going to be brought out as a health unit will literally annihilate world of medicine. Doctors will not be needed for anything. So we have to replace to give them new training after 10 years of work. So the other 100 is for you. You guarantee to pay taxes, and you tell us which government you want us to pay taxes. The data is collected. I checked with Vince over the weekend. It'll be public domain. How much collected for each country of the 100 or the 200, and which nations is going to. You could live in America, but you want your donation to be paid for the 200 in Africa. No problem. You dictate where you want to go. And then you have to deal with the works in your own country. What is this? Ah, he put the DeLorean for sale. Are you buying it as a donation for the foundation to test it for the October 21st? How much is it? What's the price? We can't see the price. Up. 35,900. You're buying it? That's euros, about $50,000. You can buy it? You're going to fly it? Can you speak with Armand? Armand is prepared to buy it for the foundation. Yes, that's $50,000. Did he have a heart attack? Anybody wants to share it with Armand? He says he'll find another one. So we got our DeLorean for 21st of October. There we go. You see, this is a Dutch auction, huh? It's a very good one.
Okay,
You
Rick.
know, his wing like this, it flies, it flutters its wing. So where are you going to put the control? The problem is where are you going to put your wife? That's the problem.
The
Hi,
boot
Rick.
is in the front on that one, by the way, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, I know. I've been in one when it was out. I had a choice between this one or Audi Quattro, the first Audi, the first four-wheel drive ever came out in 1981. I had a choice to buy this or buy Audi Quattro four-wheel. So I bought the Audi Quattro. Yeah. And it was more expensive. You go on the internet, you put 1981, the first 8081, the first four-wheel drive cars ever hit the market was done by Audi. So I chose. I always loved this car. I know this car well enough.
Okay, Rick.
Rick,
Yes.
can we show
Hi.
this now?
Okay,
Okay.
so
So which one do you want to show first
yes,
here?
so I was going to talk to you about that. I think I need to calm down with my voice because it looks like it's overamping on YouTube. Um,
What we're going to do with
can
this?
can you show it in a per when I sent you? Like if I tell you to show picture 5, does that mean the fifth picture that I sent you?
Can
Does
I,
that work?
can
Sure.
I stop you, Vince? Hello, Vince.
Yes.
Would you like to take over the teaching that you show this and what you've done? Because it has to be from you, not from me. You're the victim. I'm just a watcher. Explain to us what happened, how you set your system up.
Let me explain to you right from the beginning when I first had my experience because it's all happened in the last week. Okay. Rick, did you want to show? Let's see now. What is that? No, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna mute you, Mr. Keshe, because we're just getting a little bit of feedback from your end, so we don't get that anymore. That should sound good. So let me just count the numbers here. 1, 2, 3. Show number 4. Let's start with number 4.
Second. 4.
The last picture.
Yeah. The last picture.
Yeah.
That's number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm just not able to count today.
So you'd rather have 5 or 4?
Yes, 5, please.
Okay.
I just wanted to show the layout, which this system has been around since Thursday, but I had a different experience on before that. I'm gonna also try to send you pictures of the system sitting on the bench there. Okay, this will work here too.
Okay, we have that correct picture up there.
Yep. Okay. So as you can see, my bench is an absolute disaster of a mess, but that's normal for trying many things, I guess. So it was sitting right in the middle, and to understand my system, maybe you should show the next picture, Rick.
Okay.
There you go.
And let me get the screen sharing up.
I can see it right there.
But I have to share a new window, or it won't show on the
Yes.
Zoom.
Right.
There. Okay.
Nope, I don't see it.
No? Okay, let me see here.
Try just clicking on the picture behind that one at the bottom. I see
I
it
got
behind.
to stop sharing and then reshare because it's not coming up. Try that. No.
There you go. That's the right one. So you can just move those pictures in and out if you need to. Okay, so this is the system that I've been running for a little while now, and I've just recently reloaded it in the last 2 weeks with some different cans, and I'll tell you guys about that later. What I initially experienced last week after initially loading the reactors is the the reactor that is closest and to the left a little bit inside the yellow dome there, um, that is the one that I've had an issue with. So the first time when I first filled them up and let them run, I did not have the dome on there with the skirt. And I turned it on and I left the room and I went to bed. Came back out the next morning and I found the reactor on the floor. The strange part about this is that I've been running these ping pong balls on these motors for months, and they've never been off of their base. So I found it as just a regular ping pong ball off of its base. Okay, so it was about 3 meters away and directly away from where it was, basically directly behind where this picture was taken. And so I thought to myself, okay, no problem. It could have been a vibration or something along those lines. And what do we usually do? We test our theories. So I removed that reactor from the formation. Oh, and I should tell you about what I found on that reactor when I picked up the base and tried to glue it back. The reactor had actually forcefully pushed its way off that way, and the reason I can tell that is because the base is printed from plastic, and it's friction fit onto the motor shaft, and there's only a little bit of shaft sitting up above the acrylic deck that it's sitting on that's also glued down with nano-coated sheets. So while it's spinning 700 to 1,000 RPM, if it got pushed off and if it was just a slight push, it would still just keep spinning. But I found it so that the hole was actually oblong and broken, so that it seemed like it came off with quite a bit of force. So I put that reactor away because it could no longer go straight on a shaft. Had to do some work on the base, so I put that reactor away for a bit and replaced that reactor with another one of those that you see in the formation there. And the one that was empty, I had another reactor from a previous loading that I didn't unload, and it was the original top reactor, the original top reactor that I've used with this system. It has a nano-coated plastic tube around it that I had filled with CO2 GANs, and the CO2 GANs had dried. So it's a nano-coated plastic tube with dried CO2 GANs inside of it, and that's wrapped around that reactor, which is the top reactor, which I determine as the top reactor. Anyways, I would put this top reactor in that spot, and I put the nano-coated dome over it just in case something did happen. I didn't want another reactor flying away. And again, I turned it on and left the room and went to bed and forgot about it and came back out, and I heard the reactors running. So I didn't think much about it, and I finally said to myself, maybe I should go look at it. And sure enough, that same reactor, this time the base was still on the shaft, but that same reactor had come off of the base. So again, this is a reactor that had been running for at least a couple of days, never come off its base on any other motor before. I spin these up, I spin them down, I turn them on, I turn them off at 2,000 RPM. I never have any problems with the reactor sticking to the base. And this one decided to pop off, again, in the same position. So that was very interesting, and since I've replicated my results, I decided to move to the next level, which was to incorporate that reactor that I had originally removed and fix the base on it. And see now, Rick, if you could show picture, I think it's 2, 3, did I not send it to you? Yeah, no, sorry, picture 2. Perfect. So what I had set up was I took that the reactor and set it up on a broken motor. The motor still spins, it just the bearing isn't very well, so it makes a lot of noise when it turns, but it still turns, and I really didn't care about the noise. I'd fixed the base so that the reactor spun true again. I just dug it out and cleaned it up so it had a firmer, snugger fit and a longer fit onto the shaft. And so it spun true again. So I did the same thing. This time I had worked, I don't know, 28 hours or something. I wanted to get it running before I went to bed because, as I had said before, everything seems to happen when I go to sleep. So my goal was to replicate, this time with the dome on and a reactor outside of that dome that had been in the situation or the environment of that dome. So they should be tied. So I put it at 90 degrees. As you can see, it's on the drill press table, and it's just held there with a clamp. And the thing that you see beside the reactor, the washer, actually has 4 neo magnets in it, and I was just playing around with the magnets, and I left it there and forgot about it. But I forgot to turn my camera on to see exactly what happened. But I turned it all on and went to bed. And when I came out the next morning, it was very eerily quiet in here. And I looked over and noticed there was no star formation on the desk anymore. So what I had found, let's see if we can go to picture 3, Rick, please. So what I had found, let's make sure I'm not beating the microphone. What I had found is that the reactor had fallen over, but not only had fallen over, but it had ended up laying in a position that it was, the top of the dome was facing that other reactor. As you can see inside the power box, the power box had not moved at all, but yet all the cords were ripped out of it. I would have expected if it would have just vibrated off the table and fell off, that the slack in the cables would have just pulled it right off with it. But that's not the case. So I'm just using the evidence that I see in front of me and deducing what I see, and my only explanation is that it needed to position to face that reactor, because as you can see, that the other reactor on the outside, the top left of your screen, the reactor is facing due north. It's facing 90 degrees compared to the other systems. And it seemed like they wanted to turn to get that way. I mean, it could have fell any other direction. If it was falling, it could have fell any other direction, but it ended up facing that way. So it's too much of a coincidence to me. So I picked it back up and I put it back together, and now I have all 4 systems running. The top reactor, as I initially described it, is in the top position with a new motor. So I have a full star formation, and I'm in the process of getting another reactor that's completely nano-coated ping pong ball on the same kind of base. Getting that ready for putting on another motor to be able to spin it outside the formation with probably a weaker field to be able to dictate the flow. So this point, I'll go over the loading that I did with there. Actually, let me go over how I had connected it, because I have a faulty power supply regulator, and so I've been using a single regulator to power 2 motors, and it does the job. And these motors, if I don't do that, they spin quite high at minimum voltage. So by splitting the load, I seem to be able to slow them down to the point that I'm fairly happy with, which is about 1800 RPM. I've seen it as low as 1000, but that's due to a connection. You can go to picture one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, Rick, please. So as per the last Knowledge Seekers workshop and the new release for technology, I decided to create myself a little Alex cell, as with the stuff that I had. So I had this running right, I would say, to the right beside the reactor system and below them, so where the motors were kept mainly, being held on with the clamp onto the desk. So I had the hookups as what I understood with the Alex cell, and I'm sure that there's lots of information out there, so I was able to hook it up quite the same as what the specifications that I had before. And this is just a quick cell just to try to keep the motors going, because I wanted to spin them as low as possible, and yet the power distribution wasn't letting me go any lower. And I found that by adding this, I could spin the reactors lower, but they still had power to run, which did not happen before. Okay, so the loading of the 3 reactors in the bottom, I had done something quite different and over an extended amount of time. I don't have any pictures of them, but I can describe it quite clearly. So we all know about the 3 states of the GANs with copper oxide, CO2, and CH3. I decided to try to make them more composite in terms of in the same bucket at the same time. So what I had done is I set up 2 CO2 kits, and I made them myself, of course, as well as a CUO kit. I did the CUO kit as soon as I knew I was going to be needing CUO, because I knew how long it took. I also had put the CUO kit close to my reactor to try to get it to absorb as much fields from the nano-coated copper as possible, to see if I could speed it up at all. I did not want to add electricity to it, as I wanted to keep it more of a natural process. So I did that for the CUO. I let it produce for probably about a month, and I left it. And it was fairly chilly in here when I started these reactors, so there was not too much evaporation, but I knew that summer was coming and that the heat would start to rise in the lab. So I did not add water on purpose, and I was waiting for it to get to a certain point. Unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately or unfortunately, while I was in Italy at the opening of the Spaceship Institute, I had got my wife to try to send me pictures of my systems, and I forgot to add a little bit of water, and I didn't look at them before I left, as there was a lot going on before that. So they ended up drying out while I was in Italy, and I was a little bit upset, but there's nothing I could do about it, so I kept the systems going, and kind of paid it no mind, because I knew what I was gonna do with them anyways. So when I got back to the lab, they were completely dry. It was nothing but a salty residue GANs layer on the bottom, and all I did was restart the CO2 kits. I just poured new salt water into them, stirred it up as best I could, added more salt to the solution, added some potassium or no salt to the solution, just to see if the potassium would increase or open things up a little bit more, to be able to get the production going again. And sure enough, I started getting production again within a couple hours. So I had 2 CO2 kits. Now, I did do one of them differently. One of them I had a another copper oxide or nano-coated copper, wire that I had put on the end of the bucket. Now, Rick, if you want to go back to the second to last picture again, the one with the seeds on it, maybe I can explain it with that picture. It might be okay. And I hope I'm not boring everybody here. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Yes, that will work. Could you make it a little bit smaller, please? Or just move it over. Just need to move it over to the left. Okay, there we go. Perfect. That works. If you look at that bucket there with the seeds on it, and I'll explain that in a bit, that is the main CO2 kit, and you can see the wires on the right and left-hand side, the red wires. The bottles around it are full of GANs, full of amino acids, washed, unwashed, and of course the reactor was right beside it as well. In the CO2 kit that I did differently, what I had done right at the front of it, so the bottom of the picture, I had put the nano-coated copper wire, attached a nano-coated, really thin wire. I think it was a 26 or 30 gauge wire that I had nano-coated previously, and hooked up an iron hollow sphere that I had was able to float on the water and hook it to the nano-coated wire. So at the front of that, I had a little circuit, you could call it that, with the iron the iron sphere was a full sphere but it's hollow. It had a hole at the top that had floated about halfway into the water. So it was creating CH3. It was creating CO2. It would layer itself. There was layers of copper oxide in there. I pretty much had it all directly into that bucket. So that, again, that's one of those CO2 buckets that you see right in front of you. The only difference was an iron half sphere and another nano-coated wire in the front. So what I had, those are the two buckets plus the CUO that had dried out, and I restarted them. When I restarted them, they produced exactly the same as when they were previously. So I still had layers of CH3, layers of CO2, and you could differentiate the layers in there. When they had dried out, they had dried to a paste. Looked really strange. I had showed pictures to the guys at the SSI there when I was there. I don't have the pictures with me right now. But there was some goopy mess there. I don't think it was completely dry. After I restarted it, though, I knew I was going to be using that GANs for the reactors. So in one bucket, especially in my composite bucket, I had CH3, I had the GANs, the dry, and the nano state of CH3. I had the GANs, the nano, I would say the nano and the dry of the CO2, and of course the copper oxide. I had all three states of that as well. So that was in the one bucket. I washed it many times with warm, more like hot water to try to dissolve as much salt out as possible. At that point, I mixed them in the reactor to specific measurements, as in I used a 3 milliliter or 2 milliliter syringe, and I would fill up the syringe with one type of GANs, and I used a syringe per GAN so I didn't cross-contaminate. I measured out the full amount of GANs, let it settle, made sure that I had only GANs in there. Of course, there's always going to be water, but if you understand, when you hook it up, or suck it up into a syringe, you can let it settle for a bit and see the amount of GANs that you take. the amount of GANs that I was taking was a full syringe after I'd pulled it out, and it had all 3 states in it because they were all washed together. So I've added that to the reactors in specific parts. Now each syringe, I didn't add one syringe to one reactor and the same syringe to another reactor. I used the same batch that I pulled out of the GANs. I used one batch.
Oh, this machine drips oil.
Can I help you, Mr. Keshe? You okay?
Yeah, there are 2 questions. Can you tell us what's the purpose of those raisins or coffee nuts or something nuts on the box?
I'm not supposed to talk about that. You told me to talk about the reactors, not about my other systems.
Well, are there droppings or something else?
I'll tell you about that after, okay?
He's doing research.
Leave you in suspense. How about that?
He's not just a pretty boy. Okay, so you found your reactor about 1 or 1.5 meter away from the table.
Yes.
There is usually, we see this quite a lot. The reactors prior to lift go through the experiencing vibration. Was the core on the edge, or what I see must have been, that through vibration it could fall off?
I had a, what do you want to call it? A clamp at the front that was just holding the wires that were in the front of the reactor. So it's possible it could have come off. I have prevented that now, so there's no possible way that it could fall off at this particular point. But as of this, no, there was nothing specifically set to stop it from falling off. But there was a clamp there that should have prevented it with all the wires that were there.
But the wires came off with a clamp.
Yep.
No, because we have to understand how and why. Because if we find the answer, we have this all the time.
Yeah.
When you do a test again, you got to make sure it's on the ground level or at least long enough from falling off. Because pre-flight condition, if you remember, always say the system goes through a vibration and then it takes off. The vibration of the lift with maglev system is very, very specific. It's not a shake that you get with like you shake a bottle. You see a shake from the foundation. It's a specific way. I've seen so many times, I know it when the system is ready to go.
I see lots of shaking from this system, yeah.
Yeah, so we've seen it in the system of this.
I've seen it in your systems as well with Armins and Marcos.
The thing is, it vibrates so much in its axis and then it takes off. It has to find a weak direction.
That's why I'm introducing the other reactor.
You see, there is no difference if you want to dictate next time where your reactor has to go if it flies, place a reactor in a position where you want to be.
Rick, can you stop the screen share, please?
Pardon?
You're still showing my screen. There you go. Thank you.
Cameraman, are we seeing? Yeah, we're there. You see, this is your table. This has been your unit. Next time, you dictate the direction of flow. You hang a reactor operating in a position. You have to understand the structure that next time if it flies, it goes that way. Remember, I kept on telling you, I've said this a number of times, in Tehran, I could dictate where the spherical reactor was going because I dictated the flow, field force. Look at this structure, fuel tank, the bead, the system. You dictate the direction. Until you don't have this direction, most of you will never fly. This is a secret which those who want to fly might have to understand now. You want to fly from Earth to Moon. What is your direction? What is the point of reference? You have the Moon. You create this gravitational magnetic field. You want to land, to go deeper or higher. You have the Earth point of reference. All of you up to now have run a system waiting for it hopefully to run. If you remember, in the Sensano, I showed it. We brought the reactor, we put it on the top. That was a time when we were getting the lift. We moved it, we went nowhere. And I thought one day somebody will understand. Nobody understood. So I left it. Hush. You have to have for flight a point of reference, because your reactor is used to be here. I'm pretty happy. 6 reactor. Hello. Welcome. We have an Italian delegation from Rome. Hello, you can sit with us. Good morning. Please take a seat there. So, you see, this is where you have the same. Your source outside can mean your direction of flight too. What are you testing? You want to go to the center of the Earth now, Marco? What is it? You have to see something very interesting. You won't believe it, how genius these ones are becoming.
Arman genius. Arman.
This is Fat Boy. But what they've done, they have put the map of Asia, Africa, and everything on it, and they're going to nano coat it. Earth is blue. I wonder if they can get a blue color on this instead of black.
Yes.
You know how to get it blue? Learn! Johnny trying to kill me taught you. Put chlor in it. If you put chlor in your caustic, your brass will go blue. At least we learn nothing from the murderer.
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations. Now. Don't forget my. You remember? That's why the first plates we sent out from the Sensano, which we used caustic, which was contaminated with arsenic and chlor, was all blue. Yeah? Now you get it blue if you put chlor, and if you can get some cyanide, because you put cyanide in it as well. But don't kill yourself. If you want cyanide, there is plenty on the tables in the new office. Huh? He left a lot around for you. So you put a chlor and caustic, you get a blue color. Yeah?
Uh-huh.
And if you want to know the ratio he's added, ask Professor Lutzi, because he did the analysis of it, the chlor. So what happens? So what happens here is you try, when you set up your system, try to put a reactor somewhere, a running reactor. If your field is below, it will push you down. If the field is above, it'll pull you towards it. Is there a problem? We now have a cameraman and a sound man. Marco has become a sound man now. So you see, this is where the problem sits with your position. And next time, this, I will put it, okay, 30% flight, 70% vibration. Because it's gone into the pre-flight condition in vibrating. Instead of usually you see in the Sensano, it flies around. You see when you with a vibration, you get this. With a flight vibration, you get this. You don't see it? Very tough. Excuse me, cameraman. Here. This one. Yeah? What I was showing is with a vibration, you get this. With a flight condition, you get this. So it's trying to find, and it goes up. This is what we call pre-flight vibration. Always is there. And strange enough, every time it happens, you feel a weakness in your body. You know, it's like you suddenly jump off a place, you lose, huh? You get that feeling all the time. Or at least I do. I know, there we go. Yes, I'm still alive. I've got my ears, yeah. Carry on. Yeah, the micro is on.
It was
Good.
not a green check.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Oh. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. What would you like? So, okay, no problem. So, when you run your systems, you've seen it in the Sano. This reactor has a black marking which goes like this. This kind of movement is pre-flight. This kind of movement is vibration from motors. And in the Sensano, we always saw pre-flight. If you go under, if you're going in, you go this way. It means you're gaining weight. But all the time, if you look at the recording of the Sensano, it's always moved in this direction. Which means the system was getting ready for lift. We didn't get shaking like this. You feel it. But if it's very rapid, you get this. It's just, you all will experience it in the coming days or coming weeks, put it that way, if I talk too fast. So, so you will feel it. It's not that you don't go like this, you go like this. And I think we have to put a notice, if you have vertigo, do not join the flight system. Because you literally feel it. It's different. And one of the things it does, it separates your soul from your body. You feel it inside you. It's an excitement which comes with a lot of release with the soul. It's like, yeah, you die, I'm ready, let's go.
Has it ever caused nausea in people?
Not yet, not with me yet. So you feel you have no problem. When you can fly the carpet, you feel it. So you feel is the vibration is not this way. The vibration is very subtle, and it just goes into it. So you understand from the Iranian experience, when I told you I can dictate the direction of the flight because we could set up system that way. You see how you push, your system is sits here, your other system is here, and you create a field that you know which side the pressure of the field comes. So now we're getting closer. Today is July. We achieved lift in Tehran in August, September. It'll be a nice time to do it on the same day. And how we can do it, how we can position. So you have to, even if it's vibration, with adding a system in a position on top of the table, you can stop a lot of nonsense vibration because the system will settle into the same way as you get the energy from here to here. This will absorb the energy of the vibration. A lot of free conditions. And then if you understood this, and then I've seen somebody posting a picture on the Facebook in past couple of days in what I spoke about. If you can use the fat boy and use the small ring and the bigger ring on the equator, then you decide which one of the rings you bring into operation. You decide gravity or magnetical in that direction. And this is what something which Marco is setting up now in the lab. When we bring the system out, if it works correctly, we can dictate. Now you know why you have 4 rings. You understand? So we dictate the direction of flow of the system. The next system we build, we try to dictate to put a reactor inside, or we put a star formation inside, which we can dictate is physicality. So you better get your planet Earth ready to fly. Will you be flying today?
Yes, but the idea is
You're
was
two like naughty children who blames the other one for a mistake. I'm not doing it. I didn't do it. He did. But they put a picture of the Earth and everything on it together. So when you make a hole in it, when you put the reactors in it, can I take your ball? So you put a ring, you can do, this is a very out of date system, but at least it gives you something to work with. You put a ring here, and you put a ring here. You can put a ring there, and a ring there. You decide which way you go. But you have to come and match it one by one. You can go this way, you can go that way. You can decide the direction of the rotation of the system, but you have to lock it into it. And what you should do, really notice, you got to lock the things on it, the beads on it. You have to position. Yes? Come in. You can allow. Come in. Would you like to take your camera? You want to go on camera or off camera? On camera or off camera? You or your wife? We are live. You're live. Okay. Come in. You're welcome. Buongiorno. Thank you very much for coming. Buongiorno. Good morning. He's here to help us to set up. You can join on the back. As you know, he's a world champion in high speed racing. He's here to help us to go into the production of the systems for the energy and power supply. We have good friends around Keshe Foundation in the right places, in powerful places. So now we see how you can dictate your beats. Excuse me, Italian delegation. Do you want a chair? When you place your beads, it's important that when you place a bead, you cover gaps. You can't put your beads in line. You make sure your beads sit in a position that you can cover any angle of descent or ascent. Yeah? Little technical things you have to notice. So next time when you run your reactor, Vince, try to hang a little reactor running in the background. This little reactor, you see it here, has a lot of application. You can use it for a lot of things because it's running here. But if you put it above, you dictate the direction of motion. If you place it, if you hear even the changes, the noise of the motor. Yeah, because in tracks, it's already have a connection. So you need a point of feed, you need a point of direction, and you can dictate it. Can you put up the new power supply, the can or the energy supply, please? I want to show you something there. Vince?
The mini power supply, Mr.
Mini
Keshe?
power supply or the big one, two of them together. I want to show you something. In a is it going to come up?
Yes, now.
Yeah. In the mini can, or in this one, you can actually decide in the future the direction of the motion of the car through this. The can is a small can. If you position it, if you come to the manufacturing, you can, the big one you use for the house, you don't want to fly the house. But with this, we can design inside it that the direction of the motion is decided by this can. And in the future, when we go a step further, when we show the first proper flight, you can position this because it's magnetical gravitational to lift the bike at the speed you like. This guy sitting here will love this because he can fly over the water without touching the water. But that's cheating. The only thing you need to do in that can is to set a specific condition. But as we say in Armenian, gamas gamas means slowly, slowly. Slowly, slowly, where you see the can is not only your power supply, is your lift supply too. And then in time, put it this way, if you have a car bike which is going and then we do, this is a commercialization. You can buy the power supply. Next week we give you a lift. You buy another 500. and then the week after we give you another one, you can go in the direction. You don't use lifting. When you lift, where are you going to go? So I have to teach you how to go. Then you can buy another unit. This is very good commercialization, huh? Become Bill Gates very quickly, overnight. So, but the only difference is we all become Bill Gates at the same time around the world. Yeah. So, because you understand in the system, we can control the direction of the flight. So, this is not a theory anymore, and we are so serious. Today, you've seen the bike. Yesterday, you've seen the thing. Now you see the man who's going to help us to build it for Italy. Correct? Yes. So the whole position is, if you can, in the future understanding and the way this will be designed, you don't need to keep an empty container because it's empty space. You can carry the few combination you want inside it. So your system is floating inside. Because when you have everything of GaNs material and nanomaterial, they do not conduct. You're always super resistant. So you come to understand that the change of the game is not just flying. I say 30% is pre-flight condition, 70% vibration. Because I know if you see, to vibrate a system, this happened to me in Tehran. When it happened to me in Tehran, it was a strange situation because you don't know if you're flying or you're vibrating. And then you see the system just picks up. You see the separation. If you looked in the Sansano, we went and we put papers underneath the system to show the gap. Yeah, we could get papers. So the lift was achieved, but the system call was not strong enough. You understand? So if we had a system call, we couldn't get anything because if you remember, I went on the ground and put a paper underneath. This is 11 kilograms. Before we couldn't get any papers in. So it means you already achieved lift, but we couldn't find direction. Yeah? And there is a small problem. We put two friends next to it, one Mr. and one the plant pods. And those plant pods are perfect space program ship, but of a higher order. They are nano-coated inside, so they could not support the lift. They were supported to lift themselves, but they were not supported to lift something else. Let me explain to you something very interesting. In a space, you can tag another craft with you. Yeah. Which means, tagging in English means you can drag another craft behind you at a given position. This is how you lock position. When you see the setup in the sky, you don't see these lines. I see these lines, and what I tell you, they're a formation. That's how I know you don't see. Because you need the communication line between the three that they know how to place where. And you show me, I said this star formation is just a star. Because I see the tag formation. So what you can do, you can tag one along anywhere. You could be hundreds of thousands of kilometers, but following each other on the tag. That one doesn't end up somewhere else. You tune the reactors to the same destination to each other, so the lead decides which way to go. So you can do the same thing in your star system. You can literally run a number of cars without any connection, as you see, but with no fuel through magnetic field connection. The interesting thing is, Arman has found a car, DeLorean in the United States. He's going to fly it in. Yes? But do you have a license? So you stay where you are. That's what the Belgians told me. So you have to understand this proposition. Yeah? It's you have lifted, but not you haven't flown. And when you lift, the gravity and magnetic field keep on pushing up and down. It creates a vibration, rotation, and you're falling off the edge of the table. Next time, don't lock it because you can't lift, because you lock yourself to the table, so you'll never fly. Find your reactor on the floor winds. I think you'll see much more results. No, it doesn't jump. It's fallen. Because Alex has the same problem with his system. His system keep on moving, but he can't get it flying. You can fly with the system. With all the knowledge you have now, you can fly, push energy, and everything else together. With the knowledge you have now, the system more or less reaching a point, you can have your food, you can have your energy, you can have your lift, and you can even create materials. And then, God help you, your medicine is already done, but you don't see it. So, you gentlemen, don't start till you know what you're doing. You can't go very far because the key's in my pocket. The bike. Yeah. So if you understand it today, try to design, understand how it's done. It's nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you, how and what that bike does. The only thing you're gonna get, the only thing you're gonna get from this bike, yeah, is this. That's the only thing I'm gonna give you. That's all. I'll give you this and a plug, and look at it this way. Do you want to bring this forward? Do you want to bring it forward? Come on, you two. No, just push it. Just push it. Oh! Wait. Don't knock it. Can I have that? You see, now we can connect this as a power supply in. You see, the system now is already getting charged. We already start charging the battery in a progressive way as it calls. So we're not asking you to do, but you got to explain a way to do it. He didn't tell us how to get the key going, did he?
I think the left lever has something to do with it, Mr. Keshe.
Okay, we are there. We put the demand on, so we call the battery in. So we can call, and as we use the energy, No, I have to. You see, I haven't learned my lesson yet. You cannot charge it. You cannot run it when you have a charge on. Yeah. So
that's probably true.
now it's running to charge. The system is very good. It's only done 13 kilometers. It's a brand new car, bicycle. Pardon? No, you can't turn it on because it tells you it's on caution. You can't go in. So it charges the battery to be done. So what it is, you're not doing anything special. So you got to use, and we give you a chance. This is the size of your reactor. Because the only way I can place this one, it fits perfectly right in here. So the system is already working. The system is already connected. So we want a Coca-Cola can bottle size. Can you make me one? So you see, you are not doing anything which is outside what is not available. So we call it a day. This afternoon is your workshop. You teach, you explain, and the other knowledge seekers live online guide you how to build a system. Is that good? You don't need any teachers. You're all masters. You have Winston and Rick in the background. You have Sandor. These two guys will go into the lab in the other place to develop, finish the system, and I have a lot of time with these guys. So you start doing your tutorial, understanding amongst each other. Good enough? We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much today. Thanks very much, Rick. Thanks, Jeff, for all the work he's done to get everything up. Don't forget, from tomorrow, you can even buy the bike.
I still
Great
say we
stuff.
should auction it.
I love
Pardon?
I said I still say we should auction that bike for reactors or power systems for the needy and the deserving countries. See how much people are willing to.
We finance it ourselves through our work. But if you want to buy the bike with a charge system, I think it's
€80,000.
8,000 plus the power unit, 8,500 euro.
80,500, no problem.
Eight.
80.
No, Arman says he doesn't have. He promised that holiday home.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to raise 80, no problem. But you can buy the bike with a power unit delivered for 8,500 euro. But you don't need to look for a supply. It's permanently powered.
How about 80,000 to Canadians?
80,000 Canadian using Maple Leaf worth that much?
80,000 to Canadians. Everyone else on the planet, it's 8,000.
No problem. So we give you the spec of the bike. You can see it, and we do the rest. Yeah?
Sounds great.
Okay, we'll see you at 2 o'clock.
I love the bike. It's great.
Thank
Great.
you very much indeed.
Great to
Bye.
see. Okay, that's the end of the Monday, July 6th morning teaching. The 68th special knowledge seekers workshop continuing here. We'll continue back at 2 o'clock Central European time. Thank you everybody for attending.